Has success got you physically and mentally exhausted? Do you often belittle yourself in your mind while others applaud and celebrate you? Have you lost self respect? Find your mind crowded with shame and judgment? What I'm describing is emotional overwhelm. Welcome to What People Miss. This podcast is your sacred space for your softness, your pleasure, your joy. You deserve a sacred home to practice pause and self nurturing as a radical act, and to remember that you're allowed to choose joy and pleasure, even in seasons of rage, transition, and grief. Listen for what you've been missing between the feelings and emotions that you are dismissing. Get ready to take notes and embrace ways to reclaim joy and savor life. You know, many women think that you're facing a permanent problem when you're actually trapped sometimes in a repetitive emotional pattern. And this Juneteenth, I want to have a talk about another kind of freedom. Freedom from the stories, reactions, and beliefs that keep you stuck. I'm naming a distinction between being in a negative loop versus being in a depression. Depression is a clinical condition, and it's something that is sustained over time, usually more than 12 months. But throughout the year, sometimes you have these long periods of time, 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, right? Which is clinically considered the blues. Or if we're kinder to ourselves when we use our words, I like to call it sweet talk. Just recognize that perhaps it's simply a negativity loop. You see, we're really good at reducing our joy, right? Oh, it's just a little blip, or that was a happy moment, or that was a happy dance. But we don't minimize our negativity. Why not? If you are sad for more than a day, you're depressed. No, you're not. You actually just had a bad day. And if we're really honest, throughout the day, you actually do have ups and downs, right? So I would say you may, if you're really, really observant, you might have a rough patch in the day, 45 minutes, an hour, right? A negativity loop may be that in a 16-hour waking period, you have a repeating cycle of negative thoughts that you build upon and you find evidence for during 10 of those hours. That still is not considered depression. That is a continuous cycle of negativity. It may be broken up with happy moments. Continually gravitating towards it, that creates a habit over time. But unless it's sustained more than 12 months and ultimately diagnosed, you're not in a depression. So let's talk about how to recognize a negativity loop and break free from it. As you see, we've begun that process. So in these few minutes that we're together, I will give you 4 steps to go from recognizing that negativity loop to breaking free from it. So to use the example I began with, in a 16-hour period where 10 of those hours you stay in this loop of negativity, that first hour when you acknowledge that you're there, you can begin the process of breaking free and allow yourself to have a joyful day and savor your life. So let's begin. Number 1, acknowledge that it's happening. This is not the time to avoid. If your pattern of and your way of being is avoidance, when you notice that negativity loop, that's the time to be with, to acknowledge, to name it, to say, oh, Cordelia, I'm noticing that your thought pattern is continuously negative. I'm noticing that no matter what someone says to you to lift your spirits or encourage a different way of viewing a situation, you keep gravitating towards diminishing it or being upset about it or finding fault with it. Notice, recognize, acknowledge, and name it. Yeah. I think what people miss about acknowledgement is there's another step. It's owning it. Own that that is your choice. Own that you are doing that. Now, disclaimer, if you notice that you are not doing it and it's happening without you, perhaps you have a more clinical condition and you should seek the help of a therapist. I am not that. I'm a somatic healer. My realm is with the soma and the body. So in my version of helping you to acknowledge and own, notice the way it feels in your body, right? There's a couple of noticings. First of all, how is your body feeling with the negative thoughts? What's being affected, right? Are you feeling tension like you can't talk in your throat? Are you feeling tension in your shoulders, in your back? Does your stomach grumble? Does your mind, do different things? And is it just looping the thoughts? The next noticing is when you notice and name what's happening, how does your body feel with that naming? Oh, I am in a negative loop, right? What's happening? Does your body feel like at rest or like, okay, that's what's happening? Now I'm not confused about what's going on, right? Third noticing, when you choose to notice and own it, like, oh, I'm doing that. This looping negative thought is my choosing. I keep thinking worse and worse and worse thoughts, right? How does your body feel when you're owning it? Do you feel like resistant, rigid? That's a message for you to also unpack, right? And a final noticing is once you've decided to own it, how does that feel in your body? Now, number 2, be kind to yourself and love yourself through it. All right, I've acknowledged it with all the sensations and feelings and owning of it. Be kind to yourself. That may cause more rage. You may want to throw things. So when you want to throw things, think about how can I be kind to myself, right? Because You throw things, you're going to have to clean that up, right? So, how can I throw things in kindness? Is it going to be pillows? Do I have a wall in my house where I can throw paint and it looks great, you know? Or do I have like um, balls that I can throw that bounce, right? That don't hurt me? Or do I have water balloons in a bathtub that I can throw? Like, how can you be kind to yourself through your rage? How can you be kind to yourself and love yourself through the tears? If you grew up in a house and crying wasn't okay, or it was shamed, and you feel a way about crying, is there a way that can be kind to yourself through your tears? Number 3, invite others to be kind to you with you. Who's on your team? When you're in your negativity loop and you're going through this process to break free, I encourage community, right? So who can be kind to you with you? Hey, look, I'm having a pity party and I want to throw shit. And I don't know what shit to throw. What do you throw? You know? Or will you throw shit with me? Or will you cry with me? Or will you hold me while I cry? It does not have to be a lover. It can be a friend. It can be someone that you trust. But remember, somatic healing is about the movement of the body, because these negativity loops are patterns that have become part of your behavior from your environment and through your DNA. And so these are things that you'll automatically gravitate towards. And breaking the cycle is not easy, right? So it requires acknowledgement, it requires kindness, it requires movement and love. And you can do that with others, right? You can throw stuff, you can have cuddle parties. And then for those of you who don't have people on your team, there are professional cuddlers. That is one of the certifications that I'm working on. And I also have people I can refer you to for that. And my domain and what I love to do is somatic breathwork and movement. So the number 4 option you have here is the patterns which receive the negativity are somatic, right? You must acknowledge that. That's a fact. That you may have gone to talk therapy for 7 years, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, and for whatever reason, you're still here, right? Not clinically depressed, but regular patterns of negative loops. And in order to move that out, obviously, this is something that happened way before you could talk. You could have been in your mother's womb when it happened. But those things that are genetic, they were not only imprinted in your mother's womb, and they may not have been experiences that she had while you were there, but it's literally in your genetic pattern. And the solution to that is a regular practice of somatic movement and breath work with a practitioner like myself, or someone who has studied the indigenous practices of how to move negative patterns out of the body. And so that is my invitation for you today. How to recognize that you're in a negativity loop and break free from it. Name things appropriately. Acknowledge, be kind to yourself, invite others to be kind to you, with you, and then ultimately break those patterns by working with a qualified somatic healer. Thank you for listening to What People Miss. What did you learn today? How will you choose differently? If this episode opened your mind and you're ready to turn your life around, go to my website, cordeliagaffar.com, and schedule your wellness consultation now. In the meantime, remember to choose joy and pleasure. Until next week.